Well, well, look who thinks they're ready to funk with the best of the bell-bottomed. Welcome to Brainiac's Trivia Vortex, where I, Melvin, your intergalactic quiz overlord, am dialing the time machine straight back to the 1970s. A decade where pants flared wider than your intellect and hair was feathered high enough to interfere with orbiting satellites. You humans survived a decade of disco balls, shag carpeting, and songs about horses named Wildfire. If you think that qualifies you to tackle my 70s music trivia, then I've got a mood ring to sell you. So, grab your 8-track tapes, power up your lava lamp, and let's see if you're more Bee Gees or more B-list has-been. Alright, trivia amateurs, this is level 1, also known as the Leisure Suit League. These questions are easy enough to be answered by someone who once saw Grease on basic cable and thinks ABBA is a brand of hummus. But hey, even the Bee Gees had to start somewhere. So strut your stuff like you're walking into Studio 54 with a fake ID. Let's see if you can stay alive, BTV style. What singer had a hit with Crocodile Rock? Elton John. What disco group is known for YMCA? Village People. Who sang You're So Vain, rumoured to be about Warren Beatty? Carly Simon. What R&B group recorded September? Earth, Wind and Fire. Which band featured Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks? Both Buckingham Nicks and Fleetwood Mac are correct. Who sang My Sharona? The Knack. What do the initials in BTO stand for? Bachman Turner Overdrive. Which artist had a solo hit with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough? Michael Jackson. What hit song did Barry Manilow sing about a nightclub? Copacabana. Which band's logo features a tongue and lips? The Rolling Stones. Which 1970s pop duo sang Close to You? The Carpenters. Jerry Rafferty had a 1978 hit with which song? Baker Street. Who sang Driver's Seat? Sniff in the Tears. Which group's debut album included the hit Free Ride? Edgar Winter Group. What band's 1978 hit was Sultans of Swing? Dire Straits. Which former Beatle released the hit Band on the Run? Paul McCartney with Wings. Lola was a 1970 hit for which British band? The Kinks. Name the lead guitarist of Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page. Which group recorded Brick House in 1977? Commodores. Low Rider was a hit for which funk rock band? War. What band released the song Baba O'Reilly in 1971? The Who. What band had a hit with Come Sail Away in 1977? Styx. Who released the concept album The Wall in 1979? Pink Floyd. What Rolling Stones song opens with "Please allow me to introduce myself"? Sympathy for the Devil. Which British progressive rock band released Selling England by the Pound? Genesis. It appears you didn't spontaneously combust, so welcome to Level 2 Jive Turkeys in Training. The polyester's getting tighter and the questions are getting funkier. You'll need more than a magic 8-ball and a half-remembered episode of Soul Train to survive this round. This is the level where only those who can name all the members of Styx and spell De Young correctly get to keep dancing. So grab your fondue fork and prepare to dip into the lava-hot cauldron of 70s sound knowledge. What American band had a hit with So Into You in 1977? Atlanta Rhythm Section. What band's 1976 song Carry On Wayward Son became a rock radio staple? Kansas. Because the Night was co-written by Patti Smith and which male artist? Bruce Springsteen. Who released the politically charged song Ohio in 1970? Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Which British glam rock band recorded Ballroom Blitz? Sweet. What Canadian band had the hit Ooh What a Night? April Wine. What band released Love Roller Coaster in 1975? Ohio Players. What progressive rock band's mascot is an armadillo tank? Emerson, Lake and Palmer, ELP. Who released the 1972 protest song The Revolution Will Not Be Televised? Gil Scott-Heron. One of These Nights is a 1975 hit by which band? Eagles. Which German band had a 1979 hit with The Model? Kraftwerk. What song did the band Free make famous in 1970? All Right Now. Magic Man was a debut hit for which female-led rock band? Heart. What artist released On the Radio in 1979? Donna Summer. What band's album, Crime of the Century, included Dreamer? Supertramp. Who recorded the 1974 funk hit Jungle Boogie? Kool and the Gang. Who was the lead singer of 10cc during their biggest hits? Eric Stewart, shared with Graham Gouldman. What southern rock band had a hit with Green Grass and High Tides? The Outlaws. Radar Love was a 1973 hit for which Dutch band? Golden Earring. Love Hurts became a hit for which Scottish hard rock band? Nazareth. Who produced Meat Loaf's Bat Out of Hell? Todd Rundgren. What was the name of The Who's rock opera, released in 1973? Quadrophenia. Renegade and Blue Collar Man were hits by which band? Styx. Miracles was a soft rock hit for which San Francisco band? Jefferson Starship. Who was the original lead vocalist for AC/DC? Bon Scott.
Welcome to Level 3, the big leagues, the full Bowie. This is where casual fans get vaporized faster than disco on a punk rock stage. These questions are so deep cut, even your uncle, who won a Kiss lookalike contest in 1978, would whimper and reach for his pet rock. Only true 70s savants will survive. I'm talking crate diggers, prog rock philosophers, and those who understand the difference between Genesis with Peter Gabriel and Genesis with that Susudio guy. Buckle up, this is the trivia equivalent of riding Evel Knievel's motorcycle through a stack of flaming vinyl.
Down Down was a UK #1 hit for which boogie rock band? Status Quo. What band released the 1973 album Argus? Wishbone Ash. What is the name of the Doobie Brothers' 1978 album featuring What a Fool Believes? Minute by Minute. Who was the lead singer of Jefferson Starship in the mid-1970s? They had two lead singers, Grace Slick and Marty Balin. What group had a hit with If You Leave Me Now in 1976. Chicago. Who composed the 1974 song Music Box Dancer that became an instrumental hit in 1978? Frank Mills. What group released Aja in 1977? Steely Dan. Who wrote The Year of the Cat? Al Stewart. What obscure funk band released Funky Worm? Ohio Players. What was the name of David Bowie's 1976 persona during the Station to Station era? The Thin White Duke. What band released Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys? Traffic. What band included both Donald Buck Dharma Rosa and Eric Bloom? Blue Oyster Cult. What 1979 album featured Joy Division's Disorder? Unknown Pleasures. What progressive rock band had a minor hit with Hocus Pocus? Focus. Yes, seriously. What 1979 disco song begins with Freak Out? Le Freak by Chic. What was the first hit single by Hall & Oates? She's Gone. What solo artist's real name was Declan McManus? Elvis Costello. Who composed Tubular Bells, used in The Exorcist? Mike Oldfield. What obscure 1979 album featured the band The Pop Group? Why? What Canadian rock group had a hit with Signs? Five-man electrical band. What obscure 1977 track by Television is now considered a post-punk classic? Marquee Moon. What glam rock band released Metal Guru in 1972? T-Rex. The letters in the name of punk nightclub CBGB's in New York City ironically stood for what? Country, bluegrass, and blues. What 1970s Illinois band took their name from an old work truck? REO Speedwagon. What band released Can't Get Enough of Your Love?
bad company.
Well, Earthlings, you made it to the end. Whether you blazed through like a solo from Jimmy Page or crashed harder than Altamont, I'm still impressed you remembered anything after a decade filled with hallucinogens and glitter. If you scored high, congratulations, you're officially cooler than a Fonzie catchphrase. If you bombed, don't worry, we'll send you home with a free love and bad memory bumper sticker. Now like, subscribe, and do all those earthly things before I teleport you back to the planet where disco never died and afternoon delight plays on an infinite loop. Melvin, out. This vortex doesn't close, genius. Click on another video or go back to watching paint dry. Whatever suits your intellect.